Hey, what's up, guys? Reparability Mesa here. To chime in on a topic that I don't think I've ever really touched on. That's the idea that TikTok causes more divorces than, heck, I don't know, nightclubs and bars do. And I'll tell you where I'm getting at. Guys, keep your women off of TikTok. And I'm saying this as a religious person for religious reasons. And I'm not talking about like them looking at guys washing their car without a shirt on or something. No. In the religious world, there's this trend of women finding or being convinced of a certain ideology that she didn't have when she met you. But she picks this up on TikTok, and now she in some way is causing a rift between you guys. Now you guys have major differences theologically, which, I mean, as religious people, this is so important, that they become irreconcilable. You know how many women, let's say, convert to Islam when they started off Christian, or convert to Judaism when they started off Muslim, without speaking to their man about it, or really considering the state of their family, or what kind of family will they have after they convert. There's a lot. So truth be told, I mean, a man has so many things going on. Most importantly, his responsibility is to provide for the family. Now, many times these men work very hard and leave their wives at home, and what do? They go on TikTok and they start searching for God. The problem is they could search their way right out of a marriage. So from that perspective, men, keep your women off of TikTok. Even though you're thinking like, what's the harm of her growing? Wait a little while till she outgrows you. In this case, philosophically, theologically, because she's been listening to other guys telling her the way. Truth be told, ideally, men should be leading their wife religiously. Okay, that's a given. If for some reason you've opted out not to become or remain religious, that in some way opens your wife up to indoctrination. And many of these doctrines sometimes at the end don't include you or your kids. So a bigger question is, what does a woman do once she has adopted this newer philosophy? Even though I get it. I mean, this woman becoming my religion, let's say, is something I want. However, we shouldn't just think about what feels good at that moment, but what ultimately does good for the world. Is it worth a family being split up, or just people getting divorced? I don't think so. Now, one could say that this is just a sign of bigger things at play. That, okay, truth be told, the man should have been on top of things from the beginning. You know, so if this didn't catch your female's eye, something else would have, right? But it's equally, at the end of the day, as destructive, meaning to your relationship. So if you're not religious and you see your girl more philosophically inclined in these areas than you are, which is in the vast majority of cases, it's going to happen like that. Women are drawn more to religion than men are. For sure, women are drawn more to spiritual pursuits than men are. It behooves you to adopt some belief system that you find palatable and thrust her under it. This idea that they both equally search, if you allow that, she's going to search her way out of your arms. That's going to happen. So man up, right? Adopt some sort of philosophy, i.e. religion, that your wife and kids could follow into, and then lead her from that perspective. But you have to lead, or then you're going to have people asking questions on lives like, what should I do when my husband and kids are used to doing this, but now I'm doing that? From my perspective, unless you're willing to destroy your family in the long run, do what your kids and husband are essentially doing. If that was the agreement in the beginning, right? Now, things don't have to be signed into existence for them to be agreements, but it was expected. You both met each other as lax Baptists, and now someone wants to become a religious Muslim or religious Jew, and they don't take into consideration the kids and the husband, who for some reason may not be equipped for that lifestyle. Maybe the community you live in has none of this. So you're expecting them to go from having some sense of community to now having none just because of your religious pursuit. Now, theologically, from a a level of holiness that could be the right way, but practically, I think it causes more destruction than anything else. So what would be my advice for a woman who has already thought her way philosophically out of her relationship? Meaning you have a man who really doesn't do it for you. There's many guys, other guys online who are giving over a philosophy and an ideology that you've lacked till now. And you're thinking like, this sounds better to me. Well, I don't know if that's repairable, because it seems that your husband has left the door open for people to just come in and basically poison your mind, even though this lifestyle may be better than your previous one. I mean, I can't tell you to essentially live a life you're not convinced of, but maybe from an outwardly perspective, for the sake of your kids, it's probably better for you to play along and then throw an axe to that relationship, right? I mean, it's just something to think about, because I see this happen over and over again. So it's just something I had on my mind. Guys, have a nice day.